Now that we have the results set up in front of us, let's work on parsing the data. I'm going to be looking to get item number, and the string I'll be looking for is item colon and then the item number that follows right after it. And we're going to be using the same thing that we set up right now, object.ie.document.body.InnerText. So I'm going to hit F5 and hit enter data so I can capture that information really quick. And usually what I do is I copy it from the text box, go to a notepad. This is the string, this is what we'll be working with. And again, what I want to capture is the item number that follows the string item colon. So I can easily see that it's just item ITEM 456. I'm just counting the length right here, and then I'm going to want to cut that off, capture the next few characters up until the line feed char 13 and char 10. If you notice, there's even a space after the item number, so we'll look for char 13 minus 2 because you have character 13 and then the space that's right here. And right now I'll show you exactly what I mean. Now, just a prerequisite to this video, I'm going to assume that you've been following the Web Scraper VBA application video series. If you haven't, I would recommend that you look at videos 1.15 and 1.16. These are two small clips that talk about parsing HTML source code using the InStr function and the MID function, because in this tutorial I'm going to talk about how to parse this, but I'm going to be using InStr and MID, and I'm not going to cover those functions in detail. I'm just going to show you quickly how I pulled the item numbers because I have the code already created. So let me go on and go to my Visual Basic environment so we can take a look at it. Go to enter data, and so here we had already put text box 5.text is equal to the InnerText. The only thing I'm going to do different here is I'm going to put the data is equal to object.ie.document.body.InnerText. I'm just setting it to a variable. And the first thing that I do is I put if InStr, the data, item, colon, and a space. If that's greater than 0, then this is just telling me that the string item does exist, and because it does exist, we want to execute some code. I'm going to remove the do loop just for right now. I'll put that back in right now. I'm going to put a single quote right here. The first thing that I do is capture the item number, and here's where you'll see the starting position, MID, the data. This is just the starting position as to where we start. That 6 represents the length of this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's going to give us our starting position, and then the ending position, I don't really put one, I just put the length of the data. So if I also do now message box item number, you're going to see it's going to give me the item number plus everything else that's on the web page. So if I hit enter data, let me let it load. We'll see that the first item is 13906. We can go back to the page and validate that. We do see that, but now it's giving me everything else. So what I need to do is cut it off after the space that's after the 6 and char 13, which is just a line feed. So let me go on and do that. I do that in the next line. The next line we still use MID, starting position 1, ending position we look for character 13, and then remember what I said, that after the item number there's a space, so I actually subtract 2 instead of 1. So we look for character 13, which is just the line feed, going to the next line minus 2, and this is now going to give us the item number. So I'm going to do exit sub after the message box, so you can see that if I hit enter data, let the page load, I see that now I have the first item number 13906. And something that I do, as you can see right now in my code, I do a message box and I put a period, and then I put the variable and then another period. The only reason why I do this personally is just to make sure that I parse the item number correctly without any kind of spaces or dashes or anything extra in it. And then the very next thing that I do is our original variable, the data, I remove the item number that we just collected, and I do that by giving the starting position this is going to be the starting position. Let me explain to you what I'm doing. I'm looking in the data variable. I'm looking for item number, that being the string, and then I do plus the length of the item number. So all I'm doing is I'm looking for the item number, and then I'm putting the starting position as an additional however many characters the item number is. That gives me the starting position. This ensures that the item number is removed from the data. So that way, now what you can do is create a do loop, and that's what I had originally set up, a do loop that says loop until instr the data item number is equal to 0. So this is just going to execute over and over and over until we have all of the item numbers. So let me hit F5 so I can show you what this does. I'm going to hit enter data, click my form, and it's going to message box right now all the item numbers. You see them all change out. There's a total of 19, so just going to hit OK. But that's really it. That's just parsing the data. And in the next video, I'm just going to show how you can output this data to a worksheet.